for being here. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to start today on our backs. And when you come onto your back, I invite you to keep your knees bent so that the bottoms of your feet stay planted. And then take your feet about as wide as the yoga mat and let your knees fall inward so that your legs are supporting one another. And then take your right palm and place it over your right rib cage and your left palm over your left rib cage. And if you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes, take this time to close the eyes and tune inward. So anytime that we close our eyes, it's a signal to our mind that we're focusing inwardly, blocking out the external world. And so just take this first moment to really check in with yourself. Being really honest with your answers. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What is present? Any physical tension? Any mental fears or anxieties? And just knowing that whatever is present for you is valid. But also knowing that it is temporary. And start to shift the awareness from how you're feeling to your breath. Noticing the natural pace, the natural rhythm of your breathing. Is the breath deep or shallow? Long? Fast? Slow? Knowing that the breath is a reflection of how you are doing, how you are feeling. And we'll start to practice taking a few deeper breaths. So just begin by exhaling out completely, clearing your lungs. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4. 3, 2, 1. Exhale out of your nose or your mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. And taking a few more rounds of breath at this pace on your own. Giving yourself permission to deepen if there is space. Maybe inhaling and exhaling for a count of 6 or even 7. more we focus on the breath, the easier it becomes to stay present in the current moment, to let go of other thoughts or worries. And continue breathing at this depth even as we start to add in movements or other poses. Start to toe heel your feet so that they come about hip width apart, separating your legs. And then bring your arms out like a capital T, or you could come into goalpost arms with your elbows bent. And then lift your knees in towards your chest and let your knees fall over towards your right elbow. And you may take your right hand and place it on your top thigh. And feel free to gaze any direction comfortable on your spine. Coming back to that long, deep breath. Noticing if it travels differently as you add a twist into your body. And gently guide your head and your knees back through center. And then as you exhale, let your knees fall over towards your left elbow. And you may hold on to your top thigh with your left hand. Gaze either direction. And really using the quality of your breath to create space as you inhale. And really soften into the pose as you exhale. On your next inhale, start to guide your head and your knees back through center. And then make a little tiny ball with your body, so hugging your knees in towards your chest. And then just start to sway gently side to side. Starting to feel your spine connecting to the mat. And then very gradually start to rock up and down the length of your spine. And start really gently gaining momentum each time that you rock. And take that rock on your spine about 5 to 7 times. So you're starting to warm up the spine, but also connecting to your abdomen. And then after that 6th or 7th rock, find your way all the way through to a tabletop pose. Tabletop palms come under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Flowing through cow and cat. On your inhale, drop your belly low, lift your gaze in your tailbone. Exhale, round through your back, tuck your chin and your tailbone under. Inhale, belly drops low, gaze lifts. Exhale, round through your back, pull the belly button up. Good, and then flow through that a couple of times on your own. Starting to find your connection between body and breath. Giving yourself permission to add in any additional movements that your body may be craving. It may feel nice to sway your hips. Gaze over your shoulders. Really just making this practice yours and honoring how your body feels. And take one more round of breath wherever you are. And return back to a neutral spine tabletop position. And from your tabletop position, start by bringing your knees a little bit wider than your hips. So not quite as wide as the mat, just a little bit wider. Thread the needle, keep your left hand planted, raise your right hand high, and let your hips sort of shift off to the side, really open up through your chest. And thread your right hand through your left side, bringing your temple down onto the mat. Good. And resting your weight onto your right shoulder. Another option here is to walk your left hand to the top of your yoga mat. You can also take your left hand and place it behind your back. And deep intentional breaths into your chest, filling up that space with air. If you feel a lot of tightness or accumulation of energy in the chest, feel free to sigh a breath out here, letting go of some of that energy. And 2 more full rounds of breath. Gently guide your left hand so that it comes underneath your left shoulder. Press into the palm. As you inhale, reach your right hand up, open through the hips, through the chest. Maybe pause there for a moment and lower your palm back to the mat. And then give your body a little bit of counter movement, whether it's a sway or a cow and cat movement. And when you feel ready, switch sides by reaching your left hand high, hips shift open through the chest, and thread your left hand through your right side. Temple to the mat, resting your weight on your left shoulder. You can choose to walk your right hand to the top of your mat, and you may even place it behind your back. Finding that depth of breath. Maybe you're able to come back to a count of 6 or 7 with your inhale and exhale. And gently start to walk your right hand back underneath the shoulder. Begin to press into the palm. With an inhale, left hand sweeps up. Let your hips shift and maybe pause there for a moment. And lower your left hand back to the mat. Take some counter movement. Wiggle out your hips, cow and cat, whatever you need. And we'll come into a downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting your knees and your hips. And giving yourself a little bit of time here to pedal into your knees, sway your hips side to side. And as you find that place of stillness in your downward facing dog, allow your head to soften, relax your jaw. Deep breath in, full breath out. Inhale deeply, exhale completely. And from here, reach your right leg high. Keep it high for a moment. Bend into the knee, reaching your heel towards your left shoulder, and maybe find some movement, whether that's circles with your knee or wiggling out your toes. Continuing to breathe through these transitions, through the movement. Extend your leg straight back behind you. Try leveling through your hips. And as you exhale, bring your knee forward towards your chest and plant your foot between your palms. Now from here, lower your back knee and untuck your back toes. Now staying on your fingertips for a low lunge, invite your hips forward, starting to lean your chest forward, creating a nice long length down your left thigh. Full breath in and exhale. Breathing down your left thigh and pressing out your exhale. And half split is next. Begin to shift your hips back, straightening into your front leg only as much as comfortable. Try flexing your front toes up towards the ceiling. And noticing what sensations come up for you. What are you feeling physically? Are there any lingering thoughts? Can you shift your awareness back to your breathing? On your next inhale, come forward back into your low lunge, bend into the front knee. And bring both of your hands inside of your front foot and toe heel your front foot towards the edge of your yoga mat. Good. Shifting your hips forward so that you're creating length down your left thigh. You're welcome to stay tall. You can also roll over to the pinky side edge of that front foot. And you may even choose to lower onto your forearms or use blocks underneath your palms. If that urge to sigh out comes, give yourself permission to let go of the breath. Release anything that comes up. And one more full rounded breath. If you chose to lower onto your forearms, gently rise back to your tall arms. Slightly shift your hips back, and then step your front foot back, come into a tabletop pose. So wiggle your hips, maybe cow and cat movement, whatever feels good on your spine here. And when you feel ready, downward facing dog, toes tucked into your hips. And 3 deep breaths in your downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale completely. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And please reach your left leg high. Keep it high for a moment, bend into the knee, maybe finding some movement, whether it's with the whole leg or simply wiggling your toes. Your movement, your practice. Extend the leg straight back behind you. Try leveling your hips. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your chest and plant your foot between your palms. From here, lower your back knee and untuck your toes. Coming into a low lunge, invite your hips and your chest forward. And you may want to inch your front foot forward a little bit if you're craving more length down your right thigh. And imagine your breath traveling all the way down past your hip into the right leg. And exhale from that same place, pressing out all the air that you inhale. Breathing in deeply and breathing out completely. Find a half split next. Hips start to shift back as you straighten into your front leg, only as much as comfortable. Try flexing your front toes up towards the ceiling and inviting your chest towards your thigh. Breathing into whatever sensations you're feeling, creating space with your breath. With your next inhale, gently start to bend back into your front knee. Low lunge. Invite the palms inside of your front foot and toe heel your front foot towards the outside edge of your yoga mat. Now you're welcome to stay tall. Other options are to roll to the pinky side edge of your front foot. You can lower onto your forearms. Sometimes it even feels good to take a little bit of movement before you find stillness. Knowing that intuitively, whatever your body is seeking, whatever it's craving, it typically needs. As you lowered yourself onto your forearms, start to rise back to your tall arms. Slightly shift hips back and sweep your front leg behind you for a tabletop pose. And give yourself some counter movement, sway, wiggle. When you are ready, downward facing dog, toes tucked, lift your hips. Full breath in. And exhale completely. Inhale, reach your right leg high. And as you exhale, bring your knee towards your chest, shifting all of your weight forward. Pause here. Take a breath in. Exhale, plant your foot between your palms. Now your palms are going to stay planted. You may want to walk them a bit forward in front of your front foot. Standing splits, lift your back foot up off of the mat. And it might feel good to take movement with that floating leg, reaching it high, or you can keep the hips squared towards the mat level. And start to try leaning your chest towards your thigh. Big, full breath in, full breath out. Floating toes land forward at the top of your yoga mat in a forward fold. Ragdoll pose, grab opposite elbows or biceps. Let your head and your torso hang heavy over the thighs. And feel free to sway your torso. Nod your head yes or no. Intentionally breathing up and down your spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Release your biceps. Halfway lift, hands come to your shins or your thighs. Invite the top of your head forward and slightly gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway, slightly gaze forward. Exhale to fold. And keep your head and your arms heavy and very slowly start to rise up one vertebrae at a time, taking as many breaths as you need to come all the way up to standing. Okay, and then let your arms rest alongside your body, shoulder blades roll back. Maybe the gaze softens or eyes close. Deep inhale. Full exhale. With an inhale, arms reach tall up over your head. Take up space. Exhale, forward fold. And moving through that with our breath. Inhale, lift halfway, slightly gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise tall, arms reaching up. Really make that breath long and big. Big exhale, forward fold. Your breath, your pace. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bring it all the way up to standing. Long breath, arms reach. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms on the mat. Step your feet back. Come into your downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Full inhalation. Full exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Reach your left leg high behind you. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your chest and shift your weight forward. Pause here. Full breath in. Exhale, plant your foot between your palms. And standing splits, lift your back foot up off of the mat. And feel free to play around with lifting that leg high, maybe bending into the knee, letting your heart and your chest fall towards your standing leg. Floating toes land forward at the top of your yoga mat. Forward fold. You can find another ragdoll. Another option is to hold your big toes with your 2 peace fingers. And you may even try pulling your chest towards your thighs, letting that head drop heavy. So our heads weigh about 8 to 10 pounds. So it's literally like walking around holding a bowling ball all day long. Just let that drop, let that go. Shoulders soften. Jaw and forehead relax. And gently release whatever it is you're holding on to, toes, arms, fingers. Next, inhale, lift halfway, slightly gaze forward. Exhale, fold. As you inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms reach up over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. And then pause here for a moment, pressing your thumbs into your chest, perhaps locating your heartbeats. And soften the gaze or close your eyes. Feel the beating of your heart against your thumbs. Notice the breath flowing through your body. All things happening in this moment, right now. Inhale, arms reach tall, reach up. And then as you exhale, coming into a chair pose, bend into the knees, bringing your hips low. You either want your feet to be together or hips width apart. Traditionally, arms reach over the head, but you can always bring your hands to your heart for chair pose. And then try bringing your hips slightly lower. And pull your belly button towards your spine. You can almost imagine that the inside of your belly button is trying to kiss your spine, holding that connection. And breathing deeply through your chest. Focusing on the things that are present. Your breath, your heartbeat. On your next inhale, rise all the way to stand. Arms reach up over your head. Maybe a little lean back would feel good here. Big exhale, forward fold. We're going to find a little bit of a flow with our chair pose. Just build a little bit of heat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach, rise to stand. Exhale is chair pose, bend into the knees, hips come low. And now as you inhale, sweep your arms behind you like airplane wings. Stay for that exhale. As you inhale, rise all the way to stand. Press your feet, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way to stand, arms reach. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, sweep your arms back, airplane wings. Pause for your exhale. As you inhale, press your feet into the ground, rise to stand, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Last round, your pace. Inhale, lift halfway. Fold forward. Your breath brings you all the way up to stand. With your exhale, chair pose, bend into your knees. Inhale, arms reach back. Pause for your exhale, hold it. Press through your feet, inhale, rise all the way up, stand. Big exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms to the mat, step back to your downward facing dog. And then from here, lower your knees to the mat. Child's pose, either knees together, or you can bring your knees about as wide as your mat. And bring your hips back towards your heels, forehead down towards the mat. And coming back to the pace, to the rhythm of your breath. Noticing that little space that happens at the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. That little pause between each breath. Notice if you can make that little pause a little bit longer. Very slightly holding your breath at the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. Knowing that there's no rush, no hurry at all. In your next 2 to 3 breaths, slowly start to transition to being on your back. And as you come onto your back, find a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose, bringing the bottoms of your feet to touch and letting your knees splay apart like butterfly wings. If you're seeking a grounding effect, you can place palms over your ribs or your low belly as a place to connect to your breath. Another option is bringing the palms face up next to your body as a gesture of receiving energy. Knowing this is a safe and comfortable place to close your eyes. And as thoughts arise, which they probably will, especially in these moments of stillness, just simply notice as the thoughts come into your mind. There's no need to judge them or try to change them, but simply letting them be what they are. And then just as easy as they came into your mind, let them drift out of your mind. You may even imagine thoughts as clouds drifting through the sky. Floating through your mind. And if the pose starts to feel uncomfortable, try breathing through that uncomfortableness. Be curious about what happens if you stay. If it becomes painful at any point, give yourself permission to exit the pose. Continuing to breathe deeply, finding that space in between each breath. Very gently start to reach for your thighs, guiding your knees back together with the strength of your arms. And pausing here for a moment, notice what is present in your body. Are there any flowing sensations, any heat? And taking a very light inversion, reach your feet straight up towards the ceiling. You're at home and you have a wall nearby. You can also sweep your feet up towards the wall. And you can hold on to the backs of your thighs if you're away from the wall for more support. If you have a block available to you, you can also place a block underneath your low back or your sacrum, giving you a little more height. In this pose, this light inversion, is really good for calming us down. It shifts our body from a fight or flight response to a more relaxed state of being, turning on our parasympathetic nervous system. Focusing on the flow, the rhythm your breath creates. Know that you're welcome to stay in this pose for as long as you'd like, if it's comfortable. But we will move on, so gently bend into your knees, bringing them towards you, and find your happy baby pose, whether it's grabbing for the bottoms of your feet or holding on to the backs of your thighs. And you may welcome in some movements such as swaying or straightening into your legs even. I do invite you to pause in this pose for a few breaths of stillness, simply being aware of what sensations come up for you, and noticing if there's any emotion or thought that arises with this pose. Inviting and welcoming in your breath. And gently release your feet or the thighs, whatever you are holding on to. Giving your knees a little bit of a hug. And ending practice the same way we began, with a twist. Reach your arms out like a capital T, or keep your elbows bent like goalposts. And let your knees fall over towards your right. And feel free to hold on to your top thigh with your right palm, and gaze any direction that's comfortable on your neck. And gently starting to let go of control of your breath. Letting it fall to a more natural rhythm. Gently guide your head back through center first, and then bring your knees through center. And take a full round of breath with the neutral sign. Knees come in towards your chest. Let your knees come over towards the left. Use any direction with your head. letting your head back through center into your legs. Give yourself permission to take any final movements, any additional poses, anything you may be seeking before finding Shavasana, your final resting place. And as you're ready for Shavasana, legs extend long on your mat. Bring your palms face up against your body. And don't be afraid to take up space here. It's okay to be a little bit wider than your yoga mat. And let go of all control. Let your breath fall to a natural rhythm. Release the weight of your body to the floor below you. Let yourself surrender. Giving yourself the space to simply be. a few full belly breaths. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently rock your head side to side. When you feel ready, please roll over to either side of your yoga mat, resting your head comfortably on the inside of your arm. And pausing here for a moment of gratitude. A moment to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. A moment to thank your body for its health and its strength, its ability to move you not only through your practice, but through your life. And taking a moment to extend that gratitude out towards everyone else that came to their mats today. Thanking them for creating and supporting this beautiful community. And gently press yourself to a seated position on your mat. And as you come to a seat, bring your hands to your heart center. Thank you so much for practicing today, for taking time to come to your yoga mat. From my heart to each of yours, namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.